Welcome to the Slade
and Wade podcast.
This is where we discuss all things in geekdom and nerd culture.
I'm the anime and movie nerd.
And I'm the tech and weapons specialist.
Somehow we don't hate each other, so we figured why not start a podcast?
So sit back and strap in for the Slade and Wade podcast.
We're sorry that we've been gone for so long.
Yeah, I want to blame the world for introducing so many good blessings during these troubling times, such as the new Pokemon and Sword expansion pass, man. You know, no, I'm joking.
That was nice and smooth, like butter.
So if you guys haven't been playing the Pokemon, I would forgive you. No worries. I mean, you probably are done with the first DLC, but the second DLC is coming out this weekend, or on the 23rd. There's going to be a maintenance that goes down for a bit on the 22nd, and then bang, you could start collecting Pokemon that should have been in the game in the first place. But
you right.
But it's dope though, because you get to travel now around like your I mean, the closest game I can relate it to right now is Genshin, but I can't. I don't want. I'll say that for later. But you get to catch all the Pokemon you want. There's gonna be now new Pokemon Go connection with it, and there's like this cool things going on with Pokemon Home. So it's pretty interesting, man. Like I like that. You know, I could dust off the dust off my Switch. You know. Yeah. Click on my Pokemon game, probably wait for an hour for a download, and then I'm good to go. I'm all set.
I mean, I haven't played Pokemon Shield in forever. Yeah. I mean, it is very repetitive. I don't know what introducing some new Pokemon and a new region, the Crown Tundra, is gonna really do. But yeah. I was intrigued. I mean, it's always very exciting when Nintendo does these little events. They show all this footage and they hype it up and they make it sound like it's the most awesome thing ever, even though it's just like, a couple new Pokemon and a new section. But I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with Pokemon, and it's more for like the folks of like us that we've been playing it for so long. In like multiple different generations, like what keeps us latched on is either just the grinding of your favorite perfect team or teams, and then fighting it out either professionally or just with your friends. But I could definitely see it getting really exhausting. But also, if they make the whole Crown Tundra story and stuff like that awesome and engaging, I could see it people like sticking for a bit. What I think they should do is because they're kind of making the game look more like, an MMO similar to, or like, the viewpoint is now instead of like a side movement, it's more like, hey, you're in a Witcher kind of game. You're exploring these worlds now in 3D space instead of top-down view. They should maybe bring in co-op in some way or form fashion. Like you could actually be in each other's worlds and walk around and do all these things and interact with each other, and it'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be actually dope if they kind of make this into a platform or return service. But it looks like they're not gonna stop that. They're gonna always make a different Pokemon game. Like, I don't know, Pokemon paper and rock.
Dude, you know what they should do that I think would be awesome, and they did a little bit with Pokken. They should do Pokemon Stadium. It was like one of my favorite games of all time. Pokken was kind of the same idea. But I mean, I'm talking like you and your boy, 6 Pokemon each, throw down. Right? Maybe even you import it from Pokemon Sword and Shield. That'd be fire if that was the case. Or even Pokemon Go, whatever.
Right.
Of course, I would have the advantage because everybody knows I've logged thousands of hours in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I was kind of concerned because I gave you that recent Pokégo thing.
I haven't even used that yet.
I thought that was gonna engage some kind of like inner Pokemon ghost spirit drive thing. And you're like, all right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and walk around for a bit.
No, I mean these times it's not really
Yeah,
good to
yeah,
walk
yeah.
around.
That's true.
But I would use Pokemon Go in the sense of like I'm skateboarding somewhere and I'm gonna have it on my waist while I skateboard, and then I'm gonna click it when a Pokemon's nearby.
Mm.
So I come back home and have 20 Pokemon. So yeah, I mean, um,
But
but yeah, we
that now brings like a new chance of introducing, um, Pokemon Home Connection. Have you ever thought about that?
I mean that's kind of what they already did with Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same idea. Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Sword and Shield only came out like what, a year apart from each other, but like
Hmm.
they're very similar. So Pokemon Sword and Shield were missing that feature where you could transfer Pokemon, and now it seems like these Pokemon are going to be playable in Sword and Shield. So
Right.
it'll be interesting if it works like how I think it's going to work. Because with Pokemon with Let's Go Pikachu, you left them in like this holding bin where you could then transfer them to your world, and like their stats would be different, and you know I mean a shiny is a shiny if you caught a shiny, and all that stuff would be the same, but like you know it's
That's true.
my point is it's been done. That's the
I
main
mean,
point
I
of what
mean,
I'm saying.
it's been done, but now they're making it more of a accessible thing. Yeah, it's like a dedicated app on your phone, so then it's actually there, i.e., maybe forever, versus just having it stuck in some other thing that you had to deal with
Right.
swapping out
I,
games and all that
I
nonsense.
I mean, yeah, previously you had to Bluetooth connect with your Switch to your phone, and then through like a transfer system go through like that. I mean, Pokemon Home could be more seamless because I could tell you I had so many issues connecting to my Switch.
Oh
But
yeah, I bet. I bet.
yeah, that's that's that. Also at the end of this announcement, we had that little music video that we
Oh,
hotly debated whether or
oh,
not it was really
oh,
amazing.
oh. So people got the nostalgic feels for it. Um, I did a little bit, but I mostly, by watching that video, I thought this should be a goddamn anime. Like in general, they should take this and write it out as an anime. Like focus on those two characters that they not introduced, but use as to showcase as the next generation. I don't know what there is. They're just two, boy and girl, Eevee and Pikachu. But it would be so awesome if they made an anime based off that. Like it had so much good uh direction, animation, the it was so well put together. I could see that being like the next top anime instead of what we have now. I know a lot of people like what the current anime is, and there's also it's kind of divisive. Some people don't like it, some people do, but I would love to see that. Like that music video, just I watched it like 5 times, like straight, like both looped it. I was like, yo, this is so good.
Yeah, I mean it was a good song. I was just I think because you hyped it up, I was like, I guess it's not amazing. It was good. But, I think maybe I've become a little bit numb to all that Pokemon fan service because I've been in that world for too long.
Maybe it's because we've we've tried to push you away from the Pokemon Go scene due to multiple accidents. Like,
Yeah, right? The irony, the irony.
well, I mean, I even with me, like I got into it again with the Pokemon Sword and all that. Our friend
And
O, kind of put us together to it for that too, and we played a lot, played some rounds together. But maybe it's because I've been away from it for so long after that too. I thought the music video was like, I wouldn't mind watching it. Like, it's not Dragon Ball where they would rehash the same content over and over and over, um, and you just get kind of exhausted of it. Uh,
yeah,
in
and
this
it
one,
hurt.
they had a couple times they've done that already. Pokemon, don't get me wrong,
Mm.
or kind of retelling the stories for Ash and Red Trainer, um, but I think that if they kind of took that and what they did with the music video and expanded it to an actual anime series and did every single part of the things like follow the two characters, but then also reference what happened with Ash and all that. Maybe through some different statues or obstacles or people that reference like, oh, I fought this trainer before and all that stuff. It'd be cool. It'll be really dope to like, show the next generation of Pokemon, but also make make a salute to all the past Pokemon shows before. It doesn't have to be like, like Dragon Ball Z Kai, or it could be more like Dragon Ball Z Super, but done right, I guess.
Right. I mean, it would be preying on people's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Which, Pokemon card sales are also preying on people's nostalgia.
My God.
I mean, essentially, I think the whole reigniting of the interest is kind of three-pronged.
Mm.
Between the coronavirus lockdown, right?
Right.
You had people getting into their old hobbies from long past.
Mm-hmm.
Logic buying a $220,000 Pokemon card, the first edition base set, PSA 10 Charizard.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Flex, man, flex.
Yeah. I mean, it's the holy grail. Well, kind of. There's a Pokemon. There's a Pikachu illustrator card.
Yeah.
That is even more rare than a PSA 10 Charizard or a Beckett 10 Charizard, but nonetheless, Logan Paul also had his live stream. Previously, like one of the most hated people on YouTube. He's now cultivating a following from Pokemon. Like, it's the weirdest like turnaround. Well, also a boxer in the past. He's now kind of helping to bring the Pokemon industry like full frontal again. Not that Pokemon even needs the help, because the value of the cards was going up already. And he actually had a guy on that live stream who was inflating the prices of the Pokemon cards, and telling him like, "Oh, that Squirtle's worth $30,000. That Bulbasaur's worth $30,000." In actuality, they're worth like $2,000 or $3,000. But who's to say that in like 5-10 years those cards aren't worth, $50,000, $100,000? So it's all about the value that we attach to these things. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting past couple weeks that I've been seeing. Like, now I nonstop get nothing but Pokemon card videos in my recommended because I watched one. Now it's all over for me. But yeah, that's I all I got to say about that is I just wish that I could find my old Pokemon cards that I definitely threw out at some point. Oh, they would be worth so much money. If I had a nickel for every ripped Pokemon card I've seen, be rich. Rich, I tells you.
I find it weird. Like, it's an interesting turn of events for Logan Paul. Like as a person who's has a huge controversial past. I hope this is a good turning point for him to like do more like things to help out the community. I mean, the dude has a lot of money, so he could burn money on anything that could be nostalgic for people, that could latch on easily.
Right.
He could just start doing Yu-Gi-Oh cards or start doing something else like that people will spend a lot of money on.
Right.
Bringing back magic. So it's just like,
and mind you, this was all for charity that it was going towards. So, regardless of how you feel about the guy, I think, doing things that have a positive impact like that. This was going to the NAMI organization for mental health.
Mhm.
So I think if you do stuff like this and it benefits, some sort of serious issue,
Mhm.
then there's really no downside I could see for it, no matter how you feel about.
That's true. Yeah.
the controversial
I
personality.
I hope it's just not leveraging or taking advantage of that. Like
Yeah,
I hope it's a good like change of pace for good for him because we all want that. We all want ideally we would like to see a lot of people that do a lot of crazy stuff in the gaming community or in general and social media and the culture to do better and change for the better. And it's a good sign that hey, we got Logan Paul, we got Logic spending money on some fire ass cards. Like who's next? It could bring back. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are still around, but Yu-Gi-Oh, I could see someone saying, "Yo, I got the first edition Dark Magician, so and so, locked up right here. It was only like 5 of them made or whatever," and then that goes off like crazy.
yeah,
But
yeah. I'm hoping that my Pokemon Go account probably worth $20,000 with all the shinies I have. I hope and pray. If it was, dude, I'd sell it. That's a car, dude.
Yeah,
Go pay off my
man. You
car.
can just make up the money back, man. Just like how Genshin Impact, the company that behind it, spent $100 million making that game, made back $100 million in 2 weeks, bro. Releasing that game. What you think about that?
Dude, I mean, it was a slow burn for me.
Yeah.
I was so like, oh, this is okay. This is just another game.
Yeah, you
But
were definitely.
this,
You saw me playing it. You're like, this guy's addicted. Like he's hooked on this game. I don't care for it. I know. I felt the vibes, bro. When I was like, yo, man, play Genshin Impact with me. I'm like,
I
nah,
was
it's
like,
okay. Nah.
I was like, oh man, he's gone off the deep end. I mean, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there when I'm really into a game and I just need to like grind 30 hours.
Right. Yeah.
like I need to put in that work. But this game, once you get into it,
Oh
the
yeah.
freedom of going, kind of similar to like Assassin's Creed, the way you could explore the world and just collect different points and you know, um, power up your characters in certain ways and power up your weapons, power up your artifacts. I mean, the amount of like addictiveness
Mind you,
in this game.
it's that exploration without the trailing missions of Assassin's Creed. So you actually are like in either full on just pure exploration of like, let's say, what we all wanted in No Man's Sky, where we like, oh, let's see what's over here, let's see what's over here, and then you also get the whole action. There's parts where there's a lot of action, it gets intense. There's also the creativity of different characters that you get introduced, both free and also if you want to get more characters, they give you the actual items to get more characters. It takes a little bit longer than if you paid for it to accelerate that, but some folks, like some of us, we already unlocked different weapons and characters, and it's been really good. I enjoyed it so much. um I've there's so much talk about how it's really changing the gacha market, which I didn't notice. We just learned about this recently, that gacha is based off the sound of a machine that fed out like these kind of like lottery, like these thing. What was it again?
The little character figures that
Right,
they would
yeah.
spit out.
And
All in Japan.
all
I
in
mean,
Japan. And I thought gacha was actually like, like Dave Chappelle, gotcha, bitch. Like, I thought,
yeah,
but I guess that kind of sped off from that, like from Japan's little, like, I guess that's like like, how we, like a 25 cents machine in New York, you just put it inside and you hope to get the right character you wanted or something, or like, there's vending machines or,
yeah.
yeah, it's just like that. Um, I mean, there it is kind of in a way, you get the items and the supply and the fundings to get it when you progress through the game, so you could do your own, rotations and roles and whatnot. But there's people that spent hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to get one specific character, and they can't really get it, or they do get it, but they spend a lot of money. So it's not really free to play. You could get through the game, not free to yeah, free to pay, pay to win. It's not really pay to win, because you could get through the
Yeah.
game perfectly with the characters that you get, and some of the characters that you get, even though we're like also in the culture of like tier listing everything, like tier listing, characters, tier listing people, games, all that stuff. Honestly, the characters that you get are really good. You get a really bomb ass healer. You get a really good DPS fire character. You get generally a main character that could pretty much take on any element throughout the game. And the map is huge. Like it's super big, and it's still not even all of the locations unlocked. What
Right.
it's
It's actually crazy how big it is, because
Yeah,
you don't experience load screens
not at
unless
all.
you use a teleporter. You could run through the whole world.
Yeah, it's teleporter and then probably just like story missions. That's the only time you really get a loading screen, or if you're going to like a domain, like a it's kind of like a cave or a dungeon that you do like missions and challenges. That's the only time. Anytime else, you
Right.
just could run through the map, and
And
it's beautiful.
the world's only going to get bigger too.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. It has potential to become more popular than any other MMO. Like, what's another huge MMO?
That's like this. What RuneScape,
Warcraft.
Warcraft, RuneScape.
Yeah, I mean, it has that kind of potential, that worldwide like appeal kind of potential,
Yeah, it's definitely targeting a lot of folks that love anime
and
and
chibi characters.
chibi characters for real. It's so understated that the chibi characters are adorable in this game. So,
Yeah,
um, and all
and hopefully not creeps.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you.
that's for sure. Yeah, it's all the characters look good and look how they're supposed to look like. Not like how Spider-Man Remastered has changed up their Peter Parker character to look like Tom Holland now.
Yeah, dude. I had this article that yeah, it's weird that they made the decision to
Like after the
change his
game,
face completely.
yeah,
Like, if I was Andrew Garfield, who the character was kind of based on before, I'd be really disappointed in that decision to just retroactively remove his likeness from the game. Uh,
yeah, it's really they had a whole entire time. When did the original Spider-Man come out? Like a year or two ago, right? Spider-Man
yeah, 2018.
2018. So they had 2 years, give or take, 2 years to change the model of the character. And instead of doing it back then, they did it now. Um, there's no Spider-Man movie coming out, so that's weird that they're changing the character now. And then they said it felt like they need to change it to feel more like lifelike. I mean, the original character was fine. I mean, his face expressions were fine and all that stuff. I didn't really feel like the dude was a robot or a zombie. So, uh, it would be great to get Tom Holland's like impression of this. Like, what's going on? Like, was he a okay for his likeness to be shown on the game?
I mean, I would think so, because that's why they couldn't use the in the Avengers game, they couldn't use those characters' likenesses, um, which led to a lot of people not really caring about that game.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, no, it's weird. I mean, and it's also weird that this is the only thing about the remaster that anybody's even gonna talk about, because um, there's nothing else really that impressive about it, and we're already getting Miles Morales. It's a little bit of a overindulgence
yeah.
of
I think
this whole thing.
they're pairing it up with Miles Morales in some versions of the game. I think it's
Yeah,
the more premium that costs $70.
yeah,
Um,
the collector's edition, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's a bit weird that they're doing this change now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, although the Spider-Man Miles Morales game itself looks really cool.
yeah.
Um,
One thing that
I don't.
everyone was saying was that how does this new Peter Parker look younger than Miles Morales?
I mean, honestly, but by the way, oh whoops. Uh, in the in the um in the boss battle trailer with the Rhino and
Yeah.
Miles Morales,
Mhm.
both Peter Parkers are there. No, I mean, both Peter Parker and Miles Morales are there. So I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like,
It could be that it's similar to what Into the Spideyverse kind of brought out, but they're not calling it that. I'm not sure. Maybe
I
it's a possibility that this is a different Peter Parker. Maybe it is the same Peter Parker.
I mean, mind you, in the last game towards the end,
Right.
um, Peter Parker is training Miles.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, but I don't see how that fits in. Um, it doesn't really. I mean, it happens a little bit in the comics, I think, but I'm interested to see how it ties together in the story because I don't know if Peter Parker is going to die in this game. I don't know if
Spoilers.
this is an alternate dimension of of Peter Parker. I don't know if there's an alternate version of Peter Parker. I don't know what it would be. I mean, if that's the case, and this Spider-Man remastered is a way of like, paying tribute to Peter Parker and having this game where you play as Peter Parker, so it's kind of like you can switch between Miles Morales and Peter Parker depending on what type of experience you want. That's an interesting idea. Um, if you're a real diehard Spider-Man fan, I think you would appreciate that. Um, Not everybody might be a fan of Miles Morales, so they're giving somebody something to chew on. But yeah, I mean, I don't see how you cannot be a fan of Miles Morales, especially apparently he has a spider cat.
Dude, yeah, the Spider Cat, man.
What is the trailer?
Oh
my god,
it's gonna be interesting to see. I feel like they should have included this beforehand before they did this for the PS5. Everyone just expected like a more updated graphics for the PS5 and that's it. But they just pretty much did a switcheroo move, man. It's like, it's like they decided to like be the imposter in Among Us for no reason. Just like the AOC being the imposter in Among Us with a bunch of other streamers. Woo! That's the first time we had a big congressperson play with us normies.
Right, and it not be cringy. This is not like Pokemon Go to the polls.
Right.
I mean, sorry, shout out to Hillary Clinton, but AOC, I had no idea that she is so incredibly charming. To watch her on stream, even for like highlights that I've watched.
Weight has fallen for her, by the way. Just a heads up.
I'm completely misty eyed over. Like she's, I mean, this is like unprecedented for like a congressperson to try and get to the public like this. Like,
yeah, I mean, we've had Bernie and Joe do their thing in some video games. Trump has his like thing in Twitch too, where he has that presence there, but nothing like in terms of, hey, let's us play some games together. Let me play something that it's also not just like one-on-one, playing Fortnite or whatever. It's more like, hey, we're all together, we're all discussing, we're all interacting. It's cool. I like it a lot. It's politics aside, it was really interesting. It was really funny. She is charming. And
yeah,
I would love to see, like, she just broke records, by the way. It was like 430,000+ viewers concurrently watching, and she has like a bunch of followers already, like over 500 something thousand followers. So massive win, and also a good message of just getting out to vote just in general, or just voting through your mail ballot. But
yeah,
it was awesome,
I mean, look, if this is what it takes for politics to kind of get more into the eyes of like the young people, the young voters, I mean, then I'm all for it.
Sure.
I kind of cringed when I first heard the news, and that's why like I'm saying like until I watched this like parts of the stream and until like I looked at AOC and was like, okay, yes, she's a pretty face, sure, but she's actually a good representative of the younger generation. So
Yeah.
I think that this could be a greatly beneficial.
It personally actually makes me want to have more of that. Like if we had more people on all sides of the front, on all different levels of our political system, to be more of a younger youth that has more understanding of what's going on now, especially that in the past 10 years we've went from just two, maybe two, three social platforms to like more than five that are bringing billions of people together. And there's all these terms, all these logics, and there's the gaming community that exploded, and there's the anime community, the tech community. There's a lot of stuff, and it it sucks when you try to regulate these things for the obviously the reasons that you don't want anything to be abused at it, or just to make sure things are okay. And the people trying to okay these things are not, they're oblivious. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what the terms are. They don't know what the actual platform is, and it ends up sounding like a QA session with the CEOs of the company, like, hey, so I don't know how to use Google. How do I refresh my inbox? And like, there's a refresh button right there. Next. Like, so like, there's, I hope that this is a good change that will continue going forward, where we have more, uh, politicians, or at least like flexing it, that like they allow more younger, more younger blood, because then honestly, I think we all of us have the perception of politicians are just like old farts, like dudes and some ladies that don't know what they're talking about, that are really oblivious of what's going on, or if they are, they're either taking advantage or whatever. They're not really for the people. It would be good to have more of a younger people, especially from from our communities. So, and hey, man, if they know how to play some games and call out the word sus left and right, and maybe play some Genshin, I'm down for that, man. More power to it. So
Yeah, could you imagine playing playing Genshin with freaking like a politician?
oh my
Yeah.
god, I could imagine
Like-
that. Like,
Like,
what?
hey, yo, Bernie, yo, how'd you get the freaking Wolf Boy character?
Yeah, man, how you got that 5-star weapon, man? Like, oh yeah, I used my wishes system.
Yeah, no, it'd be crazy.
It'd be super funny, but
Although honestly, it depends on the person, because I mean, like
that's true.
Joe Biden, I wouldn't really want to play a game with Joe Biden.
I feel like his memory loss would,
or Trump.
yeah, either or, man. I feel like memory loss and then getting, yeah, I'll just be frustrated for those. But like, some folks are super chill, like Obama for sure. He seems like a chill dude.
Oh
Yeah, for sure.
hey, look, I think there's a horde of enemies over there. I think if we get a healer on our squad, we could potentially take out this very powerful enemy. I'm gonna cook my food real quick. Give me just 1 second.
Give 1 second. And if George Bush was back into his chest pumping days, remember that? He's a pump your chest. He'll be the one abusing the taunts. Like,
Oh, God.
like George, stop. We need you to heal us. Hold up. I gotta do my taunts.
In real life, he's a master of working with the scythe and tending to his lawn. So
Yo, man. I mean, there's probably some new characters with some scythe weapons, man. You never know.
yeah.
But speaking of different weapons and all that, there's possibly a Monster Hunter movie with all these new, like with Ti. What? What? Monster Hunter movie with Ti? What?
Yeah. This trailer actually, Mila Jovovich is the lead.
Okay.
They seem to be like army people that get transported into this Monster Hunter world. And then they seem to get these weapons, and they seem to maybe have some enhanced abilities, much like the Monster Hunter characters in the game.
Yeah.
So this could be potentially a decent video game movie. I know, don't shoot me. don't freak out now. This looks kind of solid for a video game movie. I mean, Assassin's Creed looks solid. Rampage, we had high hopes. Sorry, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you could still produce stinkers, but this movie might actually be decent. It does give me a little bit of Transformers vibes, and that scares me. But yeah.
Yeah. Who's the director for this guy?
That is, oh god, WS Thompson, I think it is.
Wisconsin. That's
Let
probably
me
the sound of the
tell you.
shotguns, the machine guns you might hear from the movie too. We just made right there.
Yeah, down. Down here I have
Paul W.S.
from
Anderson.
Paul W.S. Anderson. Yeah, from Collider.
He made all the majority of Resident Evil movies.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
it's tricky.
I don't know, man.
It's tricky.
Yeah, his track records has been kind of like all over the place. Alien vs Predator. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. This is kind of
at very least it could be fun. I hope that it's fun.
Yeah.
I will not pay for it in theaters.
Is it a coincidence that his wife is the lead of the movie?
Yeah.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Yeah, no, I did not.
I didn't know that it was his wife, Malkovich.
Oh, okay.
So
that could be a little bit of a. I mean, maybe they have a great relationship.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, look, this is we haven't seen them. Oh, I don't know. I can't say anything, but The Quiet Place, was it A Quiet Place?
Yeah,
they have a great dynamic together. I would totally see them in multiple other movies. Great director, great actor combo.
I mean, that's actually how a lot of relationships with actors start.
Of course,
as an on-screen couple, or they work together.
But they've been married since 2009 for W.S. Anderson. Okay,
yeah,
like
they've been together for a long time. I mean,
at
this point, they're practically not even together.
I mean, she's like every single movie they've been together is every movie he's directed, like every Resident Evil movie and everything. So
yeah, that's a bit of nepotism.
They've been.
Mila Jovovich is a good actress.
No, she is. She is. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But some directing, I mean, there's some that are great though. There's some of them that are fantastic, and there will still be like okay, OG movies, but still like his most recent stuff has been kind of all over the place. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I really hope it's good.
I'm optimistic.
I honestly wish they just did a cinematic CGI maybe, or just straight anime version of it instead of that. And then maybe if they get a lot of the fans together, like, okay, hey, we're gonna make a live action, and then bring that Evolve together. I don't know who would have been a good director, honestly.
I mean, this could be huge in Korea and China.
Yeah, for sure. But unless they get the motivational direction like of what Spider-Man to the Spideyverse, like there's not a lot of good video games to movie adaptations. So I don't count the comics. Like, comics like Marvel and DC has their own segment, but video game wise, what was the last good video game movie, right? Well, I'm trying to remember that.
The last good one?
Right. There was something recently,
Ready Player One doesn't count because that was a book.
Yeah. And that was not fully adapted correctly, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't, but I mean, I think that was a pretty damn good movie.
It was. Gundam. Come on, man. Gundam. What else? I'm trying to think of. We had Assassin's Creed, right? Already.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
That was Rampage. That was horrible.
There was Lara Croft movie. That was a while ago. I was there.
Oh yeah, Tomb Raider. Well, they had a newer Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah.
I never actually saw.
It was decent, but it was not too special.
They're planning an Uncharted too.
Yes, that too. Yeah, Detective Pikachu. I'm not sure if I count that.
Oh, I loved that movie actually.
But that's a Nintendo movie.
It's a video game movie.
It's a Nintendo movie though. It's a Nintendo though. We gotta get that straight. Nintendo has a different, money revenue wise. I bet they're in the same league as Sony in terms of movie stuff, but for funding, but still different. Sonic the Hedgehog was great.
Oh yeah, that was
Sega though. That was
well, Sega is not really.
I don't know. It was Paramount Pictures, but still. I don't know, man. What's the last thing that Screen Gems did? Screen Gems last did Resident Evil Final Chapter, which was okay. They got they got 50 out of 10 for, I don't know, Metacritic. I don't really trust that much, but same thing. Screen Gems mostly did Resident Evil movies. They did Dead and Alive. That got 38 out of 100. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Dead or Alive isn't that kind of game.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Screen Gems doesn't seem to have a good solid history of movies for video game adaptations. They have, Resident Evil is just like we all love Resident Evil in some way or fashion, so we watch it, and the movies are enjoyable, but they're not like, yo, this is the best freaking video game. Like, even with all the hate for Sonic, I enjoyed Sonic. It's not the best movie ever, but it's a great movie that happened to be a video game movie. And then Detective Pikachu as well. Come on, Ryan Reynolds. That was fantastic. So I really hope I really hope that, hey, they take their time with it. It's Capcom, so Capcom's not gonna really screw the pooch on their big heavy Monster Hunter hitter, because they have 2 games coming out next year. So I hope they really don't do it, but we'll see. I mean, it's not as bad as, let's say, AMC having so much troubles that they're now renting out their movie theaters for $100 a day, some kind of thing like that. But that's what's happening. So you can.
I mean, I would consider it, dude. Because I mean,
right?
$100, that's like 4 tickets, dude.
So you and up to 19 friends can rent out one movie chain theater and have access to a concession stand, and it could go higher depending on the price of the movie. So 19 people, 20 people in total could go to the movie theaters and enjoy it for $100 a day. So give or take, that's actually pretty cheap, right?
No, that's really cheap.
That's really cheap. No, I mean, that's,
you split that a couple ways.
It's $5 each. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the exact terms are. That's what articles are saying right now, but that's stupid cheap.
It probably wouldn't be the case for the AMC in Manhattan, but
no, it depends on the location and I guess the movie too. So I'm not sure, but
like even if it was like $300 or $400, it could still be economical.
Right, dude. I would totally just go for that. Honestly, I would.
Yeah, I mean, you guys mask up, and and actually, we're gonna talk later about a huge box office weekend, but for certain movies, it might be worthwhile to actually go out there and brace yourself through this pandemic. But but yeah, the theater industry is looking like it's going to shut down by next year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I honestly, if we had 20 people to like watch, like I haven't seen the movie Tenet yet. I would actually watch because it's Christopher Nolan. Like, I'd say, hey, yo, all Christopher Nolan fans of my friends, come together. Let's fade out $5.
Yeah,
we go to a movie theater that's clean. It's just us.
Could you imagine?
That would be dope.
If they released the next Marvel Phase 4 movie, right? It would like people would go for it.
I think if they did it where they like, hey, yeah, you get the whole theater to yourself, or you get this whole area to yourself. It's locked down, only reserved per hour or whatever. I think it's not bad. Like, honestly, based off what they were charging before, they're clearly losing a lot of money. But if they make it in a way that they clean it up, they make sure everything's organized, they make sure that, everything, it's not like they have to definitely start spraying shit. Like before, you used to find, popcorn in your seat and shit, so they can't have that. So as long as they make sure the thing is clean and, this is a fair price, honestly. If you could get 20 people together, which is kind of might be hard for us because it's hard to get a bunch of people to play Among Us. So
it's hard to get like 5 of us together.
Yeah, dude, it's like getting Dragon Balls, man. So, but for those people that have a lot of friends that are just, a good click and, have a lot of availability and time just to hang out, this is actually a pretty good idea. Just do a Friday night, do it like a Saturday, whatever. Everyone's free. Let's go to the movie theaters. Let's rent it out for $100. Split it ways, $5 each.
I mean, it's more enjoyable than pre-pandemic.
Yeah, Honestly, I
Honestly,
think you're with your friends too. You're
yeah.
pretty much all set. Anyone could sit anywhere too. You have to
Yeah,
worry
you all
about.
spread out throughout the
Dude,
theater, put
right? I
your
could put up
legs
my
up.
legs up. I don't have to worry about. Oh my god, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Um,
Right.
damn,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
Transitioning from the big screen to the small
oh,
screen.
true.
Not that much going on in the small screen either, but, honestly. But the boys, a big love of many of people in my generation. Once again, we're now done with the season. The season's now over. I just wanted to quickly say that overall, the season is like a solid like 9 out of 10 for me.
Mm.
Like, there was a misstep here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some of the middle episodes,
Mm.
but it was overall pretty consistent and pretty strong. So
That's good.
yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. The finale was crazy good. You really need to get out watching it. It's worthwhile.
God. All right.
So,
All right. I'll watch it. Yeah.
and we'll all watch The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
They have season 2 has yet another trailer.
Yeah.
Not much to report here. They show a couple more shots of Baby Yoda and Mando himself.
Probably more exclusive merch that's gonna come out like a year later and shit. So just be heads up for that.
Yeah, we basically see that all the characters from season 1 are returning. And also there were some X-wings in the trailer, so
yeah,
could be we could be dealing with some Republic. Well, not Republic. Some rebels, and some New Republic type stuff.
Yeah.
So cool. It could be a lot of fun because again, this takes place. It's hard to keep track of it, but it takes place after Return of the Jedi, before Force Awakens. So, yeah, it's a little weird.
I feel like I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to remember it because I know the thing. Like I do want to. Let me remember the word that correctly. I know this is gonna eventually end at one point, and knowing that because it's like a transition between two movies, kind of makes me sad in a way because I know this is not gonna last forever. Like that mentality, like oh man, this is such a good show, a good production, everything. The story's great, and it's just not gonna last for a while because eventually it has to transition to the next movie, unless it happens in concurrent at the same time with the movie. That'd be awesome. That'd be really dope. But who knows? It's a possibility. I mean, they did it with the Marvel's movies. It could do it with the show. I mean, isn't some of the TV shows from Marvel TV shows happen along the side of what's happening in the movies too? So I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I mean they had Rebels. I don't think Rebels had a connection to Mandalorian, but yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars properties that tie and connect to each other.
Yeah,
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But all that being said, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And related TV / movie / anime news.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh my god.
Had $44 million debut in Japan. I said in Japanese, debut.
Oh yeah, sure. All the Japanese people frustrated by what the wait.
This man does not know Japanese.
This baka. Dude, yes. That's insane. That's insane that they got so much money from, especially now during these times. Like, wow, impressive. Just a side note, I hope everyone that went out to watch this movie are all safe and sound and didn't get infected, please. But yeah, I hate you guys because you guys watch a good ass movie and we gotta wait until next year.
Yeah. They actually had to lift some COVID restrictions just for this movie.
Really? Is that much of a demand for it?
Yeah.
Damn, man. That's the thing about Japan, man. They're it's part of the culture. This is part of the culture.
But I question people sitting there for a whole maybe 2 hours 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah.
In face mask. Um,
I mean, it's possible. I mean, people do that with planes. So,
yeah, but
and I imagine they put the separation between each ones. They did. They definitely had to come through with the spray.
I mean, this
So,
made more than Dragon Ball Super.
mm-hmm.
It made more than Your Name, which was another big Japanese animation movie that premiered. Um, it it's outdoing real movies in Japan. So I mean, this is like a landmark moment in the anime slash movie industry. So
Yeah.
you love to see it. It's good stuff.
It's definitely good stuff. I mean, um, I say it's a plus. Another thing that I do want to mention, because I know we talked about this in a previous podcast, Tenet is actually doing pretty good overall. Their budget was 205 million. Their box office is 323 million. So they made money back. Thank God. Because that would have sucked. That's a big movie, and they spent a lot of money, and it was a loss. But
yeah, I guess no one can't fail. But
yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of got thrown off because, especially over here in the States, it's pretty locked down. I know internationally they might have recouped a lot more money because it's more widely available, and people are like, some places like I guess Japan they could release some restrictions sometimes here and there, but for us it's just like,
yeah,
you know,
I mean the way the culture is there. I mean, people were wearing face masks long before Corona
yeah,
out there. So and they were much stricter with their shutdown.
oh yeah, sure,
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't looked, but I wouldn't be surprised if their numbers are overall lower than anywhere in America right now.
yeah. I think the problem with how the states handled it is that if the movie industry, what they did was just, hey, we see that people are doing some outside stuff. If they made it that their movies were outside, like drive-ins and whatnot. I know in some locations it's kind of difficult, especially like say Manhattan, like you'll have to lock down streets for that. But I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Like honestly, like just have it like outdoor, like Tribeca kind of status. That'd be okay.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Honestly, though, actually, Japan's only got like 10,000 active cases right now. Most of their cases have recovered.
Really?
So, wow. Yeah.
So we're moving to Japan, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, shit. I mean, with these numbers, man. I mean, I don't mind.
I actually can't believe that those are the numbers. That's the numbers aren't.
We'll stick as a sore thumb, and we won't speak the language, but a little bit of Google Translate, a lot of respect, and instead of shaking hands, we're good to go, bro. We will.
I can't believe it. Although they had 453 new cases in the past day, which is a sharp increase for that small number of people. But
that's nothing compared to.
I'm optimistic about Japan.
Yeah.
Outcome. I mean, we'll hope for the best. Hopefully, movie theaters are not super spreader events.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Man. That'd be dope.
Yeah. So yeah. In other anime news, God of High School is now done. Since the last podcast we had a month ago ish. The anime finished its first season on Crunchyroll. It was pretty popular, despite rushing through its story. Like it was on a very strong energy drink that they thought was alcohol. It was huge, but yeah, no, it was a solid season overall. Regardless of how you feel about the crazy story pace, the animation was tight. Some storytelling elements were good. And it was fun overall. Also, they have a banger of an opening song.
That's good. But I personally haven't watched it yet, so I still have to put that in my list of things to knock out. So
yeah, you could binge it in about a week.
That's good.
It's what it was about 15, 16 episodes. It wasn't that many episodes.
That's not bad.
It
That's pretty good.
might have only been 12.
Mm.
Yeah. So solid overall. ReZero had its mid-season finale. I believe that was on episode 24. I don't know. That might have also been on 12. I don't know. It's either 12 or 24. But ReZero is solid. It's again, it stops in the middle of a confrontation. So you know, I'm hoping it comes back soon. I don't actually know when it's coming back. But yeah, speaking of cliffhangers and things left unfinished, Dragon Ball Super and Boruto are in the news.
What happened to them?
So in the manga, they're at a point where big things are about to happen to the main characters of both of them. Our guy Goku in Dragon Ball Super, no mild spoilers, has kind of regressed into the same time period as Cell, and he is now given his enemy, who's capable of destroying universes, a sensu bean, because he was so confident in his abilities. And literally the characters in the manga are yelling at him that he made this stupid decision. So it's bad. And continues to show the enemy mercy until, of course, the tables are turned on him. How predictable. So yes.
Why?
The same was kind of true for Vegeta.
Yeah.
And the same is kind of true. I mean, it's the Saiyan pride thing. It's just not good storytelling overall.
Yeah, it's pretty trashy.
Yeah. And in Boruto's world, our boy Naruto might die in the next chapter.
Dude, major spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
What the? We don't even know. We don't
know. Oh, so this is hypothetical.
In the first episode of the anime, they say, something along the lines of the seventh Hokage being dead. In the first episode.
Wow.
So we've had that foreshadowing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've been having that nonsense for a while. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember that.
So every time that Naruto fights up against a Otsuki clan member,
right.
People are like, "Oh, is he gonna die? Oh, he touched Boruto's forehead. That's potentially death flag."
Yeah.
So, but this really could be the one. So, mildish spoiler, but yeah, based on based on what the characters are saying, looks like it's going to be potentially the last chapter for Naruto Uzumaki.
Damn.
So yeah, it did not happen yet, but it might be the last.
What do you think about that? It's been so long since we got that first episode that kind of spoiled or kind of teased the fact that Naruto might be, out of the picture. What do you think of what do you think they like so far? It's been good. It's been trash. It's been what?
I mean, look, the anime community tends to make fun of Boruto, and even before that, Naruto.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that despite all that, they're good series. Like Boruto, maybe not as much, but Naruto, when we crank up those openings, you feel that energy, feel like that excitement.
Right.
So it's always going to be a good, memorable time. So, yeah, no, I feel like the way that they're doing it, especially with what they had Naruto say in this chapter, he was kind of like shouting out the fact that from the beginning of the series, he's been ready to die in any confrontation he goes into. So, like, shouting out that aspect of the character, I was like, yo, it's kind of true. Like, my man's been jumping in front of kunai since day one. Like, ready to give his life for whatever he feels is right. Like, you know, so yeah, you know, it's a good feeling. I feel good overall about it. This could be what brings Boruto up to that next level
Mm.
of not being trash.
Yeah, I really hope. I really hope that's the case because man, Naruto for the longest has been kind of like in the shadow, right? Of
Yeah.
of Naruto for the longest. People are like, whatever. You watch that show, it's trash. I don't want to watch it. Whatever.
I mean, I stopped watching. Yeah, I don't care about the anime. But the manga could be if it really goes there. Um, it made people cry honestly in this last volume.
Oh,
So
that's something.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So you know, I actually haven't sat down and read through the whole chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I just follow anime news and they go into detail about everything, and I was like, oh, I could see myself reading this chapter and crying for sure, because they you know, Naruto has been like what, the last 20 years. You're potentially about to say goodbye to a character that's existed for 20 years. So
that's
crazy.
yeah, that hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
Next
see.
time on Boruto, Naruto.
Naruto.
Uh, yeah. So, yeah, I was gonna talk a little bit about uh the source material for solo leveling, God of High School, and Tower of God. There's not a whole lot to say as far as solo leveling is that fire. God of High School is that fire. Uh, and Tower of God, I have not actually gotten to read yet, but I've gotten through like over 100 chapters of solo leveling in short order. So I could strongly recommend that. Um,
so
and
it's definitely up there on top that you should definitely watch that show.
yeah,
Okay.
and I honestly don't even care if it gets an adaptation. It's that good. Like
Really?
what I can imagine for it is already like
Already good for you. Wow, that's
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
It's that satisfying. So
Wow.
yeah, I think an anime adaptation might ruin some of my feelings for it. That's how good solid it is.
That's
So
that's interesting. I never. Okay.
that's,
Uh,
it's the first time I've ever felt like that about any adaptation. But
hmm,
then again, I normally watch anime first anyway. But
right.
yeah, except for God of High School, I did read that first, and I did enjoy that actually more from watching the anime, even though the anime runs through the story. Um, yeah.
Okay.
So moving on into tech news.
Yeah. There's been some stuff that that occurred. So during our, I guess our last hiatus, whatever, we had the Google Pixel event that happened some time ago. The phone is coming out, and a lot of reviews are coming out now. So it seems like everyone's kind of solid idea of the new phone is that it's a great phone from Google. If you need something that's fairly cheap, just know that the bigger bang of the deal between the two is that you have the Pixel 5 and you have the Pixel 4 5G. And the 5 is made of aluminum. The 4A 5G is not, but it's bigger, it's cheaper, it's $200 cheaper. Both great cameras, both great, good decent screens, and the software is great. It's just that there's so much competition right now for these phones that for $700, uh, the Google Pixel 5 is good, but it should cost maybe $100 less. Like if it was $600, it will be a definitely a recommendation across the board. But you got the new iPhones coming out, you got OnePlus, you got Samsung phones that are like around the $700 price range, and they provide more features, more performance for the same price. It kind of makes Google, even though they're hitting way under their belt this time because they usually charge $1,000 for their phones. I feel like you should wait for Black Friday Like if you want a camera that's good and it has the Pixel software and it's the latest one from them, wait until Black Friday. Hopefully they have a sale going on. But I think that next year they should definitely pull out more punches. Uh, there's rumors saying that they're working on their own processor with Samsung, so that might be a good thing. The camera's still the same right now for the Pixel 5 for the past 4 years, so nothing's changed there. So I think they should bring out more for next year. And I could just chuck it to it's been a crazy year for everyone, but I think they could have pulled out more to stops, or at least discounted for $100 less. So then it's better for the economy for everyone that wants a good value Android phone.
Yeah. Which is me, because I still have my Pixel 2.
Yeah.
And it's due. The speakers don't even work right anymore.
Yeah, so that's a good example right there. I really hope they knock out the quality control on their phones. Like there's years where they get reboots, they have some weird screen issues and whatnot, and I think this year they've done a little bit more polishment. But yeah, wait for Black Friday, bro. Like Black Friday, every year during Black Friday, they for some reason knock out $200 recently in the past. Like for the Pixel 4 they did it, for the Pixel 3, for I believe the 2 they did it. They might do it for the 5. Not sure. The 5's cheap. It's cheap as it was before for the Black Friday deal. So they might knock out just maybe $100. It's actually $100 cheaper across the world, and that's because I don't know why. Here in the States, we're addicted to our number G, which is either 3G, 4G, LTE, 5G, 6G, 10G. They'll hype the shit out of it. It'll cost more money for these phones to have it, and they suck the shit out of the battery, for these phones. So I'll follow that up later on for the iPhone. But in this case, the phone, the Pixel 5, in Europe is $100 cheaper. It's $600. That should be the price here, and that's because Google had to work with Verizon to get the right antennas to work with them. Instead of having multiple different versions of the phone, they wanted one phone that had support for every carrier. But Verizon was really reluctant, hey, you better charge. It costs an extra $100 just to have this stupid thing, this antenna on their phone. So they're charging it more for us in the States. So it kind of sucks, but I'm really hoping that Black Friday they knock out the price down and it'll be a little bit more accessible, and it'll be definitely more worth it, honestly, because it's way more battery life now. That's the one thing that's major compared to the other Pixel phones. The battery life has been really improved. Screen's still good. It's still snappy, more RAM, more storage. It starts at 128 now, so it's definitely, you don't have to do the Apple tax where you have to pay an extra $50 or $80 for more storage. You get good storage out of the box, and you still get the same reliable camera. So for photos, video is improved, but it's not as crazy as, let's say, the iPhone or the Samsung phones, but still a good overall. If you want to recommend anyone for an Android phone, and if it's on a decent deal or price, I would say Pixel 5 for sure.
Fair.
After that, for some reason, Google started making an Android security team recently. With all the shit, with all the flack they've been getting for years for there's malware, there's all this stuff going on. I don't know why they started now to do this recently. They announced this a while ago, but I really want to talk about this. It's kind of weird that they now, I guess it's kind of like how some companies, they say, hey, yeah, we have AI for our editorial team, or we social media, they'll say, oh yeah, we vet your stuff, or YouTube, they'll vet your videos with AI, but then it botches everything. I guess now they're really hey, we need actual people on top of AI, because AI will mess up stuff. There's a lot of apps that get through that are just pure trash.
I mean, it's good for them to actually hire some people, especially in this time. And we know who they're gonna hire. They're gonna hire freaking hackers, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna hire the people who know how to crack this stuff. So, I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
Potentially money making. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But
because they
Google has the money. I mean, current pending lawsuit or not, Google has the money to be able to do this kind of thing. It is shocking that they haven't done it up until now.
Yeah. Man, if they just get all the hackers, because they used to do hackathon, like they used to do hacking, uh, kind of events where they'll give people $100,000 or 200 or $20,000 if they found a vulnerability for a certain app. If they just like
Right.
say, hey, instead of giving you this prize, we'll hire you. Like you found this vulnerability, you seem pretty good. Let's hire you. Let's make sure our platforms across, Android, our Chrome browsers on, Windows, Mac, Safari, etc., iOS, all that stuff, our plugins work right. It's definitely like they could have had this a long time ago, but it's better late than never, honestly. But it kind of shows that they're kind of due for a restructuring or refocus mostly on what matters most, and it's just like, hey, making sure things are reliable and things are safe, especially since now everyone's mostly at home or remotely, so people have more time to just do racky stuff. So there's more chances for people like, yeah, I just hacked Gmail, which I doubt that'll happen anytime soon, but it's a possibility. It could be some 13-year-old kid just somehow found some vulnerability through, I don't know, some icon or something. I don't know. But
Right.
speaking of icons, the iPhone, like every single year, surprise, surprise, came out with a new iPhone. Who knew? Like next year's 13, guys. Think about it. So this year's was iPhone 12, and they came out with more phones than ever. Four different types of phones. The iPhone Mini, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max. And just add 5G at the end of all those things, and then add whatever brand, and it becomes like a long ass sentence. Like iPhone 12 Pro Max 5G LTE Verizon exclusive, like it's gonna be great in marketing commercials and shit like that. So new things. The phones now look like the iPhone 4, which means they're more boxier, and cleaner, and more. You could actually hold the phones now. Before they used to be like soap. They'll just slide out of your hand because they're so slippery. Um, and besides that, better performance on the processor. They did some tweaks on cameras and stuff like that. They now have a magnetic circle on their back. So what it allows them to do is that they could get some accessories like, a little wallet could attach to it. They could have the wireless charger attached to it and you could use it. They've also made a big thing and kind of say they're trying to help out their environment by removing the charger. I kind of say, and besides the charger, they also swapped out the cable. So everyone has usually USB A, which is the wider USB port, to Lightning, or to micro USB, or or USB C, whatever. They decided to give you Lightning to USB C. Now, unless you're techie, you have USB C chargers. You probably don't have a USB C adapter, like a charger brick for it. Like you would have to either buy most recent phones, buy the most recent laptops and all that stuff. And if you're not really buying those things quite often, you probably don't have those things laying around. So Apple is happy to sell you one for $20 extra. So they're being environmentally conscious by charging you more. So you won't get the headphones anymore in the box. You won't get the charger brick anymore.
Wow.
So
classic Apple.
Yeah. Which honestly, everyone was saying like, "Hey man, you're still using Lightning port, this old ass port that nobody wants anymore." If you switch to USB C, which I think a lot of people have, even if they don't have the charger brick for USB C, they actually have the a USB C to USB A cable of some kind. You save the economy. There's more people with ports. They have more people with those type of cables and ports and everything out there now, and you now follow the standards that all Android phone uses. Even their own laptops. Their own laptops have USB-C. Their own iPads, the newest ones, have USB-C. So it's just, they're really trying to not get rid of Lightning because it probably makes a lot of money. Like $10 billion a year kind of money. So, yeah. So they're not going to, I'm not sure if it's a year, but it's definitely $10 in the revenue in some kind of executive time. So it's they're not going to let it go. So, what a lot of people speculate, and I'm kind of in that ballpark, is that they're gonna replace it with that MagSafe thing, which is what the metallic ring is called, MagSafe. Uh, and yeah, they use the same thing what they used for the laptop for the connector and charger. Um, they might just replace the port completely in the future by getting rid of the lightning port, and the only way to charge your phone is or access your phone for data and all that stuff might be through MagSafe, which is interesting. How would they do it? I'm not sure. They do have these chips in the phone and the charger to communicate with each other, so that's possibly a way. But Apple, they make so much money with these cables, man. Like a lot of money. I doubt they're gonna scrap it so then everyone could be happy using one cable to charge everything. Like me personally, I would love that. That's like the ultimate convenience. Like, hey, yo, you know how you always go to a spot like, oh, you have an iPhone or an Android charger. Now you can just say, yo, you just got USB-C? I got you, son. And you just you pass it through. You don't have to worry about shit anymore.
Right.
But me personally, all the phones are good. They all have great cameras. They all have good stuff. They all start from $699 to all the way to $1,200, depending on the size. The mini starts at $699, and the Pro goes to the maxed out version is $1,200, I believe, or $1,100 or so. So decent pricing here and there. And they're pretty much going to be, they gotta sell out like crazy. The pre-orders are already off the charts, and it's good times for Apple. Not good times though is QB. Like,
right. Quibi, man.
Yeah, QB, man. If you don't know what QB is, it's a company that came out like about 6 months ago. They announced like over a year ago, I believe, and they were pretty much trying to compete with everyone. By everyone, I mean, Netflix, TikTok, Instagram stories, YouTube, everyone. How? Their stuff was pretty much, hey, let's make a Netflix kind of show and quality, or HBO Game of Thrones kind of show, and lock it down to like 5 to 15 minutes at a time. And ideally, you'll watch these shows when you're on the go. And sadly for them, they launched it during the time where everyone was going through what we're going through now, the pandemic. So no one really is going to watch just 15-minute shows like that, or like, quick little moments and breaks. Everyone's already at home watching Netflix on the side, or Hulu or Crunchy or whatever. All these shows, Amazon Prime, all these different platforms, and YouTube. And whenever they want to watch something small and quick, they go to TikTok or Instagram stories or Snapchat, whatever.
Right.
So they were kind of like trying to do a jack of all trades kind of thing, and they had a lot of funding. They had shareholders. It was crazy. It's the shortest amount of time I've seen a company that went up and then flop so quickly. Like the only company I could think of that was like this was MoviePass. Remember that?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was only last year.
Yeah,
that
right.
down.
Did MoviePass happen last year? Damn, it's been that. I feel like that happened like years ago.
Yeah, no, it was like
fairly
watching.
recent.
I remember watching all of 2019, like being like, maybe I should consider that. And by the time I was like, you know what, I probably should get it, and then nope, it shut down. It was a model that basically you can have as many movies as you want. You pay subscription, go to the theaters as much as you like, or watch movies at home as much as you like. But it didn't work out at all. So Netflix is already, king of the hill of that. Amazon Prime is barely eking out a service for them too. They have a couple really good exclusives.
The boys.
And, yeah, and Vinland Saga. At least for my taste. There's other shows, of course, and other movies, but yeah, no. I mean, between YouTube, TikTok, and literally every other service that we're being inundated, Peacock, right?
Peacock.
There's too many streaming services, and Quibi was trying to do original content that didn't involve YouTube creators and didn't involve, uh, a lot of like grassroots kind of creators. It involved established actors and established like celebrities.
Yeah,
So
it was different. It really
yeah,
wanted to like knock out or target folks that were like really hooked onto shows that were like in those like things that you want to binge watch, but then you had short travel or you had like a short amount of time to like watch something. So you watched the shows for like 15 minutes and that was your, I guess your click for the day or your fix for the day. And but even the pre-COVID times, I'm just thinking like who would actually use this though? Like I've seen already a lot of people like on the train stations and subways. They'll just download Netflix. They'll just download the Netflix episodes and watch them on the train rides. And the train rides are usually, I mean, here in New York, usually an hour or like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, depending where you're going, maybe 2 hours, uh, depending if you're coming from like upstate or like Long Island, whatever, or Staten Island. So like, you know, it's not. I guess maybe for a person that was waiting online for something, I don't know, but it was just like it was pretty niche. It was too much of a niche for a niche. I think.
I
Like,
mean, I'm actually scrolling through all their shows. Yeah, it's all like mainstream celebrities or people who are on TV shows.
yeah,
Um, minus Reno 911, which would, I mean, that's interesting that got onto Quibi, and now it's
really,
going to be off of Quibi. Um, but yeah, no, it's a lot of mainstream celebrities with like little shows
right.
that they just had on the side. They have an impressive show list, but I'm aware of none of them. Never. I've only heard of Reno 911. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think even at one point we had gotten an offer for it through T-Mobile, like to get it for free for a while, and
Oh, I
even
thought
even doing that I didn't even use it.
I thought you said we're gonna have a brand deal. I was like, oh no.
Oh no, no, no,
I was like, take the money, quick.
And they come back and collect it. Like, sorry, man, we can't even do this. Like, no. Oh god.
I would take it.
Take
Pay me with the last $2 you got.
2 months that you got. Nah, but I hope that all the folks are in Quibi make it out good. You know, I know these times are difficult, and man, it sucks. Honestly, I wish whoever the CEO is. I don't know too much of the information of the company, but I hope that they give them some packages or at least some assistance to move on. But man, they're going out like for sure. They were trying to get sold out by they're trying to get buy out by Facebook and other people, NBC, and nothing.
Yeah.
It's all
And they had a ton of like millionaire investors too.
yeah.
It broke my heart when I read that they're giving their money back to their shareholders. Like, God, how heartbreaking that is.
That would suck, bro.
To go public with a company
Yeah.
and then give your shareholders their money back.
Oh my god.
Oh, heartbreaking stuff.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what show is not ending. This one that we're on. Slade and Wade podcast made possible by Slade and Wade.
Dude, great ambitions and drive that we have to not play Genshin Impact tonight to provide this beautiful podcast for you and good HD quality.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's still squeezed in 3 hours at this point. But yes, given that our productivity is not horrible for the next couple of weeks, we will be back.
Yes, we will.
Another episode of the Slade and Wade podcast.
And until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yes, dude.